RT, and welcome to my channel. I am the Mommy Money Getter. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Tonight's live is a little bit more serious than usual. I think I'm always serious, but sometimes I like to have fun and do a little fun shorts, or I'm out shopping. But tonight I'm going to be telling you all about my breast cancer story. Uh, Actually, I wanted to do this. I was going to do a video, kind of something like an educational video last year, but I never got around to doing it because this is really heavy for me. Last summer is when everything, when I uh, when I went through everything, but so it's been a few months since I found out um, that I have LCIS, which is Lobular Carcinoma In Situ. So I want to talk to you all a little bit about that and my whole breast cancer experience. Um, and I think that is something that should be talked about often because lots of women are affected by it. And recently, um, I found out that an Instagram influencer that I had seen on Instagram over the years, some of you may have heard of her, maybe you have not, but I won't say her name on here. But she was a young girl and a young mother, and she did pass away, and they said it was due to breast cancer. So, and she was a lot younger than me. I know she was pretty popular. She was, you know, had probably regional popularity. A lot of people were saying that they knew her. She was from South Central or Compton, California, just like I am. And so, yeah, that was heavy for me to find out. What's up? Keep pushing. Thank you for tuning in and coming in, and thumbs up in the live on your way in. I appreciate that. Oh, let me get my other device because I can never keep up. So, like I was saying, I, you don't think that younger people are affected by breast cancer, but um, that's why I want to. That's why I wanted to do this video and just talk to everybody about it because literally anybody uh, can have a breast cancer diagnosis at any age. So you don't want to take that for granted. So with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope that I can educate you all and take away some of the fear about breast cancer, and also let you know that um, you don't want to not take care of yourself, because that's what I was kind of doing. And what I still am doing is not really taking care of myself. And what I went through last year was very scary. What happened is I had my first mammogram when I turned 40, or around that year, and everything was fine. I don't have breast cancer in my family, so um, I'm like, okay. I'm thinking, I didn't know that once you turn 40, it was more than 5 years ago, but I didn't know once you turn 40 that you need to have a mammogram, a yearly mammogram, right? So I didn't have a mammogram again for several years, well over 5 years later. And why the reason why I did was because I had been having like soreness, like in my muscle area, like a lot of soreness. And someone I knew, someone in my family, they also were having something similar, and they went to have a mammogram, and something was found, and they did a biopsy, and it came back that they had cancer. And I said, oh, how long has it been since I've had a cancer screening? It's been forever, so let me go check and see, make sure I'm all good, right? So I call up my doctor. They give me an ultrasound. They said, okay, the area that I was complaining about was all good. And then so I went by myself. I didn't, I've been, and had a breast screening before. So I wasn't too worried about it. I'm like, nobody in my family, in my immediate family, has breast cancer, so I don't have anything to worry about. So I went ahead and I went to my appointment by myself, and I get back there, and the technician, I don't know what they're called. I know the radiologist is the one that reads the mammogram, but the technician starts, you know, and we're going through all the motions and everything, and I'm like, okay. And so she's like, okay, go out and have a seat. I'll let you know if you need any more. And I'm like, I'm still not thinking anything of it. And I'm like, this is not what happened to me the last time. The last time I had the screening, I was fine, and they didn't see anything, so they let me go. This time was a lot different. Uh, the technician called me back in and said they needed more pictures. I'm like, why do you need more pictures? Why do you need me longer? She was like, well, the radiologist wants them. And I'm like, okay, why does the radiologist want more? Oops, sorry guys. I said, why does she need more pictures? And they said, well, we see something that looks different from the last time. Hold on a second. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, okay. And then I just start praying at that point. And let me turn that off. I didn't panic or anything like that, but I just thought that was weird. So from there, I went ahead and took the rest of the pictures, and I did the ultrasound or whatever, and they said that they saw some groupings, like little small groupings, and that's what they look for. I'm thinking when they find breast cancer, it's like a lump or it's a big mass or something like that. No, these days when they look for breast cancer, because of years of research, years of women having breast cancer, they know what to look for long, long, long before it reaches that stage where it metastasizes. Forgive me if I didn't say that right. And so they're looking for little groupies, not, if it's one here, one there, but they're looking for, and if I'm incorrect, if I say anything wrong, because I want to preface everything that I'm about to say with this little, caveat. Always, always do your own research and talk to your doctor. This is my experience. This is what I know based on my knowledge about what I went through with my screening and my diagnosis. So use this as an educational video, as a way to determine what things might look like for you, or but always, always consult your doctor. Always do your own research and go from there. This is my breast cancer experience, and this is what I went through. Okay, so now that I got that out the way, I'll continue. So what they're looking for is not just big masses or big lumps or distortions in your breast. They're looking for the beginning of cancer, the small stages of cancers, little groupings, and that's what they saw inside of me. They saw, yes, keep pushing, always do your homework. They saw little tiny groupings, and that they were concerned with that. And so I'm like, wait a minute, and I'm like, God, this was not on my bingo card. Like, I am not supposed to be. I've been dealing with a lot. I'm talking a lot in the recent years. I left my job. My children's father passed away. My cousin, my uncle passed away. It was just been a lot. And this is all after COVID. It's been so much. I was diagnosed with something else, at adult onset asthma, after getting COVID twice. It's just been a lot of, so I'm like, God, come on now. And you don't tell God what to do though, do you? And so, okay. They're telling me, well, it's so small. If it's anything, uh, we caught it very, 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 very early. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I'm not going to trip. So they want to do a biopsy and they want to do it fairly soon. I'm like, you know what? I'm going on vacation. You can do it after. They was like, well, we want to get this done. I'm like, whatever it is, it's not going to change uh, within the next week or two. I'll see y'all when I get back. I'm going to take care of this when I get back from my vacation. So I took my kids on vacation. I enjoyed myself immensely, and I didn't think about cancer or what could be going on inside my body until I got back home. And once I got back home, that's when I just kind of got a little bit worried. My older sister went with me. Um, we went to, we had to drive about an hour away from where I live because where I live, they didn't have the type of machine that is necessary to do the biopsy. So I was just on pins and needles. But I just prayed about it, and when I got there, I saw other women who were having biopsies done, and they were, different ages, different sizes, different ethnicities. And I said, you know what, Charity, you can do this. There's plenty of women who have done this before you. It's other women that's doing it right now. You're strong. You can do this. So I just prayed, and when you go in, they have your mammogram, the results, and where they want to guide them as to where they want to do the biopsy. And then they have you change into a gown or whatever. And then they explain the process to you, which is they're going to take a needle and they're going to go inside and get tissue out. And then after they take the tissue out, they're going to, it's like a guided mammogram. They can see, they're doing the mammogram, but the radiologist is also taking the tissue from this, getting the sample that they need. Because it's breast tissue, you kind of bleed heavily after. And so what the nurse will do is apply pressure to that area. After they do that, first they're going to numb you, and you're going to hear a loud sound like from the machine, and they numb you. And you feel it, but it's not like excruciating pain, but you feel them numbing you with the needle, and then you can feel them taking the tissue. And like I said, it doesn't hurt, but it's just like me, I was just so tense, and I was just so, feeling some type of way. So hey, Kim K all day, how you doing? Thanks for joining. So, we did that, and then they applied pressure for about 15 minutes, and they put gauze and they put a bandage over it. I am talking about my breast cancer experience, my diagnosis last year. And so they put the gauze on there, then they give you ice, and they make sure they have you wait there for like 15 minutes. I guess they want to make sure they had the tissue that they needed, and then you go home. And they tell you to kind of take it easy, don't lift anything heavy. And that's what I did. And within a day or so, my whole area was like black and blue. And it was scary. I'm like, what's going on? Then they want you to look out in case you get like what is it called? It's like when you get like a blood clot underneath your skin. I can't think of the name. I should have took better notes or whatever. But and that kind of happened. But I went back to my doctor to get it checked out. They was like, no, you're good. That's fine. It's healing like it's supposed to. But it was scary for me because, like I said, I never had that happen. So I was, very apprehensive about what was going on. But I was still like, okay, the biopsy's going to come back fine. Okay. So it didn't take a long time because my doctor is very good about getting results back, and I was very happy about that, and that's why I stick with by HMO, because they're just really good about when you need to get tests done and when you need to have something like a surgery or anything. It's really fast. You don't have to wait weeks to have something approved and get referrals done and all of that. So moving on from that, I got the results back, and I think I had to wait to see the doctor, or after I had that done, I had to see the surgeon. So I went to see the surgeon, and again, I go by myself. I wish I had someone with me because she's just so matter of fact. And I'm like, look, I need to see somebody else because I really didn't like how she was coming at me. She was just like, well, I don't know. So do I need to have surgery? Well, what does this mean? Let me back up. The results were that I had a benign, my sample was benign, but it was uh, it was negative, but I can't remember the terminology they used. But it was but it was likely that it could turn into cancer. So I'm asking her, well, what do we do next? Like, what's going on? She said, well, you have another area. I'm like, well, why didn't they get a sample there? She said, because um, I forgot why she said they didn't get it, but they didn't get it. And or either they couldn't do both samples at that time. Hey, entertainment you love, I'm talking about my breast cancer experience slash diagnosis. It's a no, it's a lot. It's a lot. So they said, well, you got to go back for another biopsy. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. The first one was benign, but likely that it would become cancer, this one area. So, oh, I didn't tell you guys, when they take the tissue out, they also put like a marker there, like a little something, so that they can watch it in future mammograms to see if it's changing or if it's grown more or anything like that. So they did that in one area. But now they saw another area that they were concerned with, and they wanted me to have a second biopsy. So I'm like, okay, God, what are we doing here? And God's like, you don't tell me what to do. I tell you what you're going to do, and we're going to go through this together. Trust me. So I'm like, okay. So I do the second biopsy. My daughter comes with me for that biopsy. It was a much better experience because this time I didn't want to drive the hour to get the biopsy done. I wanted to be able to get it done closer to home, so they referred me out to another facility that has a breast cancer center. It's like a imaging center. They do MRIs, CAT scans, all that, but they also have a separate part in the center where they focus mainly on breast cancer and mammograms and things like that. So when I go in this time, the nurse is very nice. She's holding my hand. I don't feel a thing when this guy, you can tell when a doctor knows their stuff. I didn't feel not a thing. She gave me some what is it, some oil, some drops, what are they called? It was like lavender, and she put it on my little smock. I'm just like getting teary just thinking about the whole experience. I didn't think I was going to get choked up by it, she was like, yeah, this kind of helps you deal with what you're going through. And she just rubbed my hand and rubbed my arm. The other nurse was cool, but she didn't take that time to, just really, really just hold my hand and make me feel better about the experience. So, now this time is a little different. Before I was just kind of feeling like, oh, uh, I don't think I had breast cancer, but I was concerned because, like I said, I was having pain in my chest, and I just wanted to make sure that I was all good because I know this about life. The earlier you catch something, whether it's your car and you just start hearing a little something, whether it's your kids and you see that they're starting to act out a little bit, whether it's a job and you see that you got a new boss and he's tripping and you might want to start making your way out, it's always better to foresee things. And I feel like God has always given me the foresight and the discernment that I needed to make it through this life. And that's important to me because I've also been diagnosed with uh, generalized anxiety disorder. I might talk about that a little bit more. I think I talked about it some. So for me, I like knowing, I like anticipating what's going on. So for me, this was big. And I had to really rely on God in a way like never before, because beforehand, with living with anxiety, I would always just fall apart and talk to everybody else and trust everyone else more so than I did myself. Like I never could trust myself, and because I had anxiety and I didn't know if how I was thinking was just my anxiety or was it real or was, and obviously in the years since, God has told me and shown me that I can trust my thoughts and that I know when to be worried, not worried, but when I need to be concerned about something and give it to him, and when I could just feel like, you know what, just pray more. And he would tell me that all the time, like, you need to pray. He'll wake me up in the middle of the night, pray for this daughter, pray for that daughter, pray for that person. So I start praying and I just start, relying on him. And so I'm looking at my test results because now this is an outside facility. And so I don't really see it on their website. But when I go to my website, I see that it's back. And I'm like, okay, what does this mean? So I'm not feeling well. So I go to the doctor about something else. And when I go to the doctor, I ask him, I say, I just had this done. And this is a regular doctor. I just had a biopsy done. Did the results come back? And then he looked at me and was like, dog, just like whatever, like, yeah, it's cancer. And I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, you have cancer. And I just start bawling right there in the office. I just start crying like uncontrollably. I'm like, God, like, I have 3 minor children, 3 teenagers. Who is going to take care of them? They have to go to school every day. I have a senior. Um, I can't have cancer. And the doctor's like, but look, whatever it is, they caught it early. Um, this is what this means. You probably, would just have to have a little surgery, he was like, I don't know. You have to see the specialist about this. And, and I'm like, okay, and I'm just in the grave. I was like, I'm sorry I had to tell you this. And I'm just like very upset about it. So through my HMO, you get a case manager kind of when you have to have a biopsy done, and they talk you through the process. It's a nurse, and she'll tell you what all to expect and what you will be going through. So I called her up and she confirmed what he said. Yes, this is what it is. She said, but listen, they caught it early. It's caught very early. And you might just have to have a surgery, or they might have to do this, or they might have to do that. And I'm like, I'm overweight. Um, I don't want to have a surgery. I'm like, I'm already having asthma. I need to lose weight. Do I have time to lose some weight before I have surgery? And I'm just like in a ball of emotions. And I just like, you know what? Let me make sure everything is in order. I'm going to get my kids together and I'm going to tell them this is what's going on. And for the first time, my kids just start acting weird. Like they were all off the chain that weekend. Because I'm like, God, I don't want to leave my kids. I don't want to, I'm not ready to leave this earth. But I'm like, God, if this is what you're calling me to do, then, I trust you. You know better than me. And I'm like, just like really like trying to be a big girl about it. Like, well, this is what God has me doing. This is my path. I'm going to make sure my insurance is all straight so that my girls will be okay. I'm just going to make sure I do everything I need to do. And I'm going to sit them down and talk to them about it. And if this is what God has in store for me, this is what he has in store for me. So, because I know women who've had breast cancer, and I know what they've been through, and I know a few women who are no longer here after having a breast cancer diagnosis. So maybe this is on a Thursday, and I see my doctor, the surgeon, on a Tuesday. So I go the weekend, and you know, I think maybe it's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday because my daughter was like, Mom, can you take me to go to my friend's basketball game? I want to go watch my friend play. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm sitting out there and I'm just thinking, I don't tell my mom, I don't tell anybody. I don't tell anybody that I've been told that I have breast cancer. I don't tell a soul. For the first time in my life, I just felt so so strong in my faith, in my not even just my faith in my relationship with God. I dealt with it with God, and I didn't tell anybody. I just sat with it, and I got sad about it, and I just thought about it, and uh, I made peace with it, and I just sat with it with God, and I said, I'm not gonna fall to pieces. I'm not gonna fall apart. Whatever God wants is what will happen, because I didn't say this before, but 10 years cancer free. That's what, right? Amen. Yes, faith is everything, yo yo. Um, yeah, that's how he said it. Like, these doctors, especially when you look like me, they can be very, you know, thank you, CC Beth Explorers. They can be very nonchalant, but then at the same time, they're doctors. They can't, I, yes, they can, because I've had doctors who sat there and cried with me and prayed with me. And that made me feel better than any medicine that I could have gotten, especially when I was going through my anxiety. I kept going to the doctor because I was having shortness of breath. That's how it kind of started. I would be coming home from work and I would be experiencing shortness of breath. And so finally I went to the doctor, and what the doctor did was directed me to the Bible app and told me to read the Bible. So the doctors I've had, and not that I feel like have taken the best care of me, have always said pray, or have you read the Bible, or have you read this, and that's what helped me. The doctors that were like, oh, you need to take this, oh, you need to take that meds, or you need to do that, that has never helped me. And I'm going to tell you that. And like I said, I talk about my anxiety story as well. I'm in recovery from anxiety without no meds. Um, it was a long process. It was a long journey. That's why I was like, God, come on. Like, we're just getting through this anxiety stuff. And now you want to give me breast cancer? I am not David. Okay? I am not one of your warriors. I am not ready for this. You cannot do this to me. I do not want to go through this. And like, when I was going through anxiety, he said, oh, yes, you can do it. Oh, yes, you're going to do it. Let's go. So I said, okay. So I was trying to get everything processed in my mind by myself. I just wanted to give it to God. I didn't want to talk to anybody else about it, because what could they do but say, oh, or pray, or oh. And as sincere as they want to be, it's not them. So they can never make you feel better about it the way you want to feel better about it. And the only thing that you can do is pray. So that's what I did. I prayed. And I was like, okay, let's do what we got to do. And so I didn't tell my kids right away. I said I wasn't going to tell my kids at all. I was going to go through this, and, I was going to let them have their childhood, because the last thing I wanted them to do is worry about losing their mom. My children already lost their father. I didn't want them to be thinking, and one of my daughters was always worried about me being sick anyway, like, are you okay? Are you okay? She just stopped worrying about me. And I think that was because she lost her father a couple of years ago. So um, I didn't want to tell them that. I just felt like, uh, I think that it's better to just go through whatever you're going to go through, and then the kids not know. Because it's just like, I don't know. So that's just how I was feeling, like I wasn't going to tell them. And so the next day I talked to my mom about it. And, like I said, she wasn't very, she wasn't not comforting or uncaring, but it just, whatever she had to say it just didn't feel good, I told my dad, and I told a friend. And he was like, "Oh, you should tell your kids. You need to tell them. Um, you don't want to not tell them. You need to get them together and tell them all." So I didn't want to tell anybody else because I didn't want people, I just didn't want that negative energy going against me. You know, I just didn't want that at all. So I said, after I talked to the surgeon, then I would tell my kids, whatever. And so I checked on my insurance and things like that, like I said. Um, try to make sure that my kids would be good, um, and all of that. My 401k, I checked on all of that stuff. Um, and then so I went through the weekend, and all of a sudden I'm taking my kids to school, and I'm just sitting at the stoplight, and the kids could sense I'm not crying. Tears are falling, but I kind of wipe them away, and my kids could sense like, "Are you okay?" And I just got sadder than I'd ever been in life, and I was just sad. And in between those days, my kids were just irritate me, and I'm like, cause praying to God, like, God, I want to be here for my kids. I want to be a mother to my kids, but God put it on me that no, you want to be here for you. That those are your kids, and you love your kids, but I need you to want to live for me. I need you to want to live for yourself. My grandmother had breast cancer 3 times, double removal. She was 83. She got her first chemo at 40. So did my aunt, praise God. She has beaten multiple times. She's also 20 plus years and out of having breast cancer. God is good. God is good. God is great. So I had that night, and I hadn't, it was a Monday before I needed to go see my doctor after the weekend, after mulling over if I was going to tell my kids. And then my friend telling me, like, look, you need to tell your kids. My father checking on me. I'm like, well, I looked at my x-rays because by then not my x-rays, my results, by then I could see my results at the facility. But it didn't say anything about I had breast cancer or anything like that. But of course, later on, I found out from my doctor that they don't put results on there because they want you to go over them with their doctor. So I'm telling my dad, like, maybe I don't have anything. He's like, Charity, you still need to go to the doctor. I said, of course I'm still going to the doctor, but it doesn't show that on there. I don't know what's going on. So the night before I go to see the surgeon, I'm like, up all night, like in a tug of war, and God just keeps telling me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. And I'm up all night, and I just can't sleep, and I'm just like the saddest I've ever been. And I can't remember the last time that I have been that uneasy and unable to go to bed. So I just stayed up all night, and then finally it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and my spirit is settled. And God is like, I need you to trust me. And I said, okay, God, I trust you. That's right. Keep believing, keep growing, and keep pushing forward. That's right. And so I go to the doctor, and I'm sitting at the stoplight on the way there, and it comes to me, you don't have breast cancer. And I'm like, that's silly. That's crazy. The doctor already said, you do have breast cancer. So I go on to the doctor, and then I see the surgeon, and I'm upset, and I'm thinking that she's going to tell me, okay, we're going to do a double mastectomy to make sure you don't get it in the other breast. I'm thinking that they're going to have to do a lumpectomy. I'm going to have chemo. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to do that. And so then she was like, I'm like, what are the results? She's like, oh yeah, it's negative. I'm like, what do you mean it's negative? She's like, you don't have cancer. I'm like, what do you mean I don't have cancer? The doctor said I did. She said, what you have is a carcinoma, and but it's not cancer. She said, like, if it was anything, it's stage 0. And what I was diagnosed with is lobular carcinoma in situ. And what that is the lining of your breast duct or your milk ducts. It's inside of there, and it's encapsulated. So what that means is that it hasn't opened up or anything yet. So she said, but for all intents and purposes, that it wasn't cancer yet. And it may never be cancer. But I could take medication to, to prevent that or whatever. And I'm like, okay, hold on, hold the phone. This man said I had cancer. The nurse said I had cancer. She said yes, but when they see that, they're the regular doctors, they don't know. They don't know what this means. It's a carcinoma, so the doctors see carcinoma and automatically they think cancer. But this is not cancer. And so I said, okay. She was like, "Look, do you want me to go talk to the chief of staff so I can confirm?" And then she came back and she confirmed everything that she just told me. I said, "But what do we do? Is it just going to sit there?" I mean, she was like, "Well, at this point, I don't want to do anything to it." And she said, "And you need to lose weight anyway, just in case." She said, "The only thing that we can do to prevent it, to make sure you don't get it, is to remove your breasts and then do a reconstruction and give you breast implants and all of that." And I'm like, "Okay, but she's like, "But for now, what we can do is just monitor you." I said, "Because I have been reading and I have been going over everything. Uh, it says that if you get a diagnosis like that, you could take medicine or you can just get um, mammograms every 6 months." And so that's what I elected to do. But she also decided to have me go see the oncologist. And I saw the oncologist about a week later, and he explained everything to me. And he let me know that I could take the medication, but it would be, instead of it being like an 11% chance of it becoming cancer, it would be a 5% chance of it becoming cancer. And the medicine that I would take, it could cause hot flashes, and it could also cause uterine cancer and a bunch of other side effects. So I'm like, okay, you know, I won't, maybe I won't get breast cancer. I could still get breast cancer, but then I could also get uterine cancer. So I'm like, I don't want to take the medicine because by the time I seen him, I had joined the Facebook group and everything. Yes, when I find out something or I need to know more information, I'm joining a Facebook group. And if you ever get diagnosed with anything, I can tell you it's probably a Facebook group for it. Join the Facebook group, and you can, see what other people are going through, what else they're being told, and um, what have you. So that's what I did. I joined the group, and then I just saw what they were saying, the different options they had were, and so then I talked to the doctor, and he was really good. This doctor, that's why I said this, the primary care physicians, they're just trying to get through the day. The specialists, I feel, they have more of a better bedside manner, at least with my HMO. And he went online and he showed me all the different places I could go to find out more about it. And that's why I was going to do a video um, and tell, because I recorded him actually telling me this, and I never got around to it. And this is like, this happened, I got the first diagnosis in May or June of last year, and by September I had two biopsies and had got the diagnosis of LCIS, which I said is like pre-cancer, so it's not cancer yet, but it can turn into cancer. So, with that being said, I elected not to take the medication. The doctor said I didn't, that it was too small. It was still encapsulated. It wasn't out. It wasn't spreading or anything like that. They weren't concerned with it, but that I could have another mammogram in 6 months. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going to have another mammogram. I have two different biopsy sites, and in each site, they put markers there so that when I have my future mammograms, they can check and see if anything is there or if they need to uh, do anything further. In the meantime, I was supposed to be losing weight. I've gained and I did lose like 15 pounds right when that was going on. I did lose 15 pounds, but I gained that back plus another 15. So that's why I said at the top of this video that I have been taking care of myself. But with my asthma, I'm taking like steroids, and that makes me want to eat even more than usual. So now I'm working on getting back to eating clean. With the winter months, I just felt horrible, and I was just taking steroids left and right, taking the inhaler, and I just, everybody was sick. And when I finally got better, they got me sick, so I couldn't really breathe like I needed to. So I haven't been able to exercise. I got my walking pad. At the top of the year, I was feeling great. Like, okay, I'm gonna start back to eating clean. I have my whole clean eating group on Facebook with 10,000 members, and I haven't really been over there because I haven't been able to cook for myself. I've been eating out, you know. I took my kids to Disneyland. Thank God I made it through that, walking through Disneyland. But that was tough for me because I have the asthma stuff. So um, now I'm feeling better. I feel like I can catch my breath again. And I feel like what's happening is during I got this shirt from Target. Um, they had it in store, but it was and see how big my boobs look when I sit down. That's why I'm covering them. But I shouldn't have been covering anything because for the first time in my life, guys, this is the funniest thing. I've always had big boobs, but of course they are huge now. Okay, every ounce, every pound I gain comes right here. Okay, even when I was pregnant, I have a small belly, huge boobs, and I've always said I would never get any type of surgery, but if I did, I would want to get, a reduction. And so now, for the first time in my life, I'm like, I don't want to lose my boobs. Like, I don't want to, like, that's crazy. I don't want to lose my boobs. I'm going to lose my boobs. I'm going to have crazy looking boobs. I got scared. Okay. But, yeah, I got the shirt from Target. But, it was crazy. It was a crazy experience. And I just felt like, I wanted to do a video. I wanted to educate other women on it or let them know what I experienced. Because when you get a diagnosis like that, the first thing you want to do is go on Google. You want to start finding out everything you can about it. You want to see what everybody else is experiencing. So I just would like to be able to give that, put that energy out there and let people know that especially if you're over 40. If you ever suspect anything, I don't care if you're 18, if you ever feel something weird, if your boobs look different, if you feel soreness, if anything at any age, don't say, well, I'm young. Because like I was saying before, the young lady, she was like 30 years old, had 3 children, and they said she passed from breast cancer. So don't wait until you're a certain age. If you feel like you need to go and get an exam, call your doctor up and don't let them poo-poo you. No, I need an exam. No, I feel like this, and you have to give me one. If they don't want to give you one, then I need to talk to your supervisor. I need to go up the chain. I need to call the medical board because there is one if they don't want to give you a test or something like that, and they will make them do it. If you have health insurance, you can call and get that done. So don't ever hesitate to do that. I don't care how young you are, how old you are, but if you are 40, it's every year. Make sure you get a mammogram every year, and make sure you feel comfortable with what they're telling you. Don't just let them just tell you anything. Make sure they tell you and tell you again until you're satisfied. And if you're not satisfied with what that doctor told you, okay, I need a second opinion. And if they try to tell you you can't have a second opinion, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And if they tell you you can't have a certain treatment, yes, you can. So don't let the doctors just tell you whatever. Someone told me recently, oh, you're so loud and aggressive. And you know what? I was offended by that. But when it comes to me, when it comes to my kids, when it comes to getting the things I need, when it comes to getting taking care of my health and making sure I'm okay, I'm glad that I'm loud and aggressive because these people will try to play with you for real. And just years of dealing with psychiatrists and a therapist telling me this, that, and the third, telling me I needed to do this. And I just walked away feeling like, you know what? And God kept telling me, you don't need to take medication, you need to rest. That you didn't have mental illness before, and you don't have mental illness now. You need to rest. And when I finally stopped listening to people telling me, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, when I finally listened to God, and I finally took that rest, guess what? I didn't have anxiety anymore. When I finally started praying to God and listening to Him tell me, pray to me, trust me, that's when one doctor said, you have this, and then he turned it around. So ever since then, and ever since last year, I said, you know what, God, I will never not trust you again. And it's easier said than done to say, you know what, I always trust you. But because He'll give you reasons to say, let's test that faith again. Let's see if you still trust me. How about now? How about when your kids are challenging you? How about when your money is funny? How about when things aren't going your way the way you want them to? How about when people are leaving your side? Are you still going to trust me then? Are you still going to turn to me then? Or are you going to get mad and angry? Or are you going to start feeling sorry for yourself? Or are you going to understand that this too shall pass and that I got you? That you don't need anybody but me. And I've come to understand that I don't need anybody but God. I want my family. I want my children. I love them dearly. And God has blessed me with all of them. But He wanted me to come to that uh, resignation that, listen, I'm God all by myself and you don't need nobody else. And once I got that, He was like, okay, well, go on about your business, girl. And then when He needed to pull me again, when I stopped reading my Bible like I need to, when I stopped listening to gospel music like I used to, or when I'm acting like I want to get out there and get fast and start acting like I don't know Him, He'll remind me, He'll pull my coattail like, oh, okay, you don't want tragedy and calamity. Because I feel like this, when God has decided that He wants you as His own, you can't just walk around this earth like everybody else. Like, I feel like I could never do nothing. I could never get away with anything without God punishing me right away for it. Even as a kid, I feel like I've always was called to a higher standard. Like when everybody else is getting away with stuff, when everybody else seems like they're doing stuff, and it's like nothing is happening as a result. But I don't care if I just look at somebody wrong. God is like, pop. And so when I'm not doing what I need to do, when I'm listening to my gorilla or whatever, God will remind me. He will remind me, and it's not that I'm perfect or it's not that I do everything right. I do a lot of things the way I shouldn't do it, but God is constantly showing me that, hey, I need you to be one of my prayer warriors. I need you to trust in me, and I need you to keep on this path because when you start to pray for other people, you want it to be where you know God is going to answer you and going to hear you. He's not going to turn away from you because you're dwelling in sin. And that's what I try not to do. Like I said, I don't do everything right, but I try not to dwell in sin. But if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask away. I see some of you are telling stories about your family members. Thank you all for coming in and thumbs up in the live. Entertainment You Love, Candy K, CC Beth. Um, who else is in here? Keep pushing forward. I appreciate you all for coming in and listening to my story. Um, it was a lot for me as a mom, as a single mom, to go through that and be challenged by that. And I don't envy anyone who has to go through breast cancer and they have children. Or thank you, Yo. I appreciate you. Um, I don't know why I don't like to do lives as much. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't mind doing them, but I guess when uh, sometimes you don't have as big of an audience as you would like, or sometimes you just have to keep talking. And hopefully my phone doesn't go dead because I didn't charge it up enough. And yeah, but Yo did great today. She did was it 5 or 6 hours, Yo, that you did it? Um, yes, it will come over time. How many hours were you on there? Was it 5? And then look at you. Look at you. After you did that marathon sprint today, 5 hours and 30 minutes, here you are out supporting your girls. And you know what? And I don't have nothing but love for you, Yo Yo. And I don't have nothing but love for all of the women who are doing this streamers university. This is going to be fun. We're going to have so much fun in the month of June. I'm excited about it. Um, and as I'm thinking about it, I think I have a lot of things to talk about. I don't want to get too serious, but I felt like this was needed before I get to acting the fool later on in the month. oh, I felt like I don't. And Kendi K, I want to tell you, you are the one. I was watching one of your lives about a mammogram, and that jogged my memory. Like, okay, you need to go back and have your second 6 month checkup. So thank you for that. And that's why I wanted to do this, because I feel like if I share this information, somebody else watching can get my experience, and also um, they can go get themselves checked, or I can be the reminder to them that they need to go and get their breast checked. So everybody do that. If you're over 40, it's yearly, and if you see anything, go take care of that. But 5 hours and 30 minutes, ooh, I don't know if I could talk that long. I think I would have to have people very much involved and talking to me and all of that. I think I put my breast cancer story. You think I should make it a little bit more meatier? Yeah, I did my, okay, maybe I do story time, my breast. I'll change that up. But I did do a thumbnail. I don't know why you didn't see it, because it should have been there. Yeah, but definitely. And if you're watching the replay of this, and you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in a comment. I'll always respond to my comments. So make sure you do that. Um, so if I don't have any more questions, I'm a little bit tired today. I don't know why it just says mommy money getter is live, because I did put that there. Maybe I didn't save it. That's crazy. That is so crazy. It do just say that. That's crazy. YouTube be set tripping sometimes. I'm gonna have to change that. And I also had a thumbnail up there too. Maybe I didn't save it correctly. I don't know, but I will change it as soon as I can. Um, yeah. Thank you for coming. I know you're tired. Did you get you something to eat, Yo Yo? I know you're probably like just ready to go to sleep at this point. What is it, like 10 or 11 where you are? And what did you get to eat? Um, I made steak tacos. I actually made beef yesterday, but I this month I said, okay, I really need to lose weight. I feel it in every bit of my body. I feel it. I'm hotter than usual. Um, Buffalo Wild Wings. 11 o'clock. Girl, go to bed. You got tomorrow. Tomorrow. Rome was not built in a day. Um, I got some beef steaks, like chuck roast, but it was a steak. It was like this thin, and I think I made it earlier, or in the last a couple of weeks ago. I made the beef, and I put like peppers with it, and I poured it over rice. And I said, you know what? These beef steaks would be good for like barbecue, beef barbecue, like sandwiches or tacos. So this time I seasoned it up really good, and I put onions on it, and it got tender really quick. And I put it on some tortillas. I made tacos with cilantro and onions and cheese. Oh my gosh, they were so good and so tender. Just ugh. I feel like I make Mexican food like the Mexicans do, or better than the Mexicans do. But yeah, so I had those, and I said I'm gonna start cooking again since I'm feeling better, since my lungs are not as constricted as they was during the allergy season. I'm feeling a lot better. I thought I had COPD, but my lung doctor was like, girl, you do not have COPD. Lose some of that weight and you're gonna feel a lot better. So I'm I'll probably be doing a live about clean eating and trying to get some of you guys to join my clean eating group on Facebook. And I'll be doing more clean eating videos like I did before. When I eat clean, the weight just falls off of me. So I'm going to go back to that. But even if I'm not eating clean yet, my goal is to cook all my meals at home and not eat out anymore because I was eating out so much. I spent so much money eating out, and I mean, I feel every last bit of the weight I gained. Like just every step I take, every breath I take. And I'm like, I got to get this off of me. I got to get this weight off of me. So I got my water. Today is basically day one. Day one of me getting serious and not eating all those zoom zooms and wham whams. But I haven't eaten out. Oh yes, I did. I had like a little ice cream something the other day. But today is right like my first day. So yeah, guys, if you haven't done so, please thumbs up my live and please consider following my channel or subscribing to my channel if you got this far. I am Charity. I am the mommy money getter. I shop, I clean, I cook, I do it all. I'm a mom of 5 daughters, and I also am a content creator. I don't just do YouTube, I do Facebook. I really do Facebook and a little bit of Instagram, a little bit of TikTok, and I've been on Lemonade. And I probably want to tell you guys about Lemonade because I feel like Lemonade is where everybody wants to be. I don't know if I want to share that yet though, because I'm doing really good on Lemonade too. I might give the goods up on that later on this month. I got to think about that if you haven't been on there. A queen and a mom. That's right. And a boss. That's right, Yo-Yo. So I know, Yo-Yo, we're supposed to be on here for 2 hours, but I think my phone is going to, the power is going to go out. And so I think I'm all talked on. I'm a little tired. It's been a long day. So tomorrow I'll make it up. I'll probably do like 2 lives tomorrow. I'll do a live in the morning and I'll do a live in the afternoon. Unless somebody has a question. I see I have a few people in here. So if you have a question about LCIS, Lobular Carcinoma In Situ, or if you have a story you want to talk about, let me know. We can get into that. If not, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go and tell you to have a good night and God bless. Have a great week. First day of June. Summer is coming up. It's about to be a blast. I know it will be for me. So good night, guys. I love you all. Have a good night.